feels like 30 degrees at the start of spring in New York City.
So we will be talking about what is the difference between sport mode and track mode. As you can see, it is 36 degrees here in New York City with the wind chill feels like about 25, to be honest. So not the best day to do this, but this is one of my only days off, so I got to get this video done. Now, I did a video like this back years ago when I had my Daytona 392, but I don't think I did videos like this on my Hellcat. So what we're going to be doing is we will be I'll be running some errands. What I'm going to do is on the street, I will show you guys exactly what sport mode is about. All right, I'll show you exactly how sport mode acts, its attributes, how risky it can be, especially in cold temperatures like this. And then we'll jump on the highway and we'll be in track mode. On the highway, track mode, like I said, is a lot more aggressive, but what I'll do is I'll break down exactly how these different modes differ. So I did a poll on my community tab, asked people what do you guys prefer, sport mode or track mode. Surprisingly, sport mode is in the lead. I just asked you guys that just yesterday, and already over 1,000 people have voted. So I'm shocked more people aren't picking track mode, but I said, you know what, this seems like a good topic to do a video on. All right, so in sport mode right now, and like I said, definitely not the best day to be doing this, but I got to get this video done. So right now in sport mode, actually first thing we're gonna do is go get some gas, but I'm on the street, so I kind of just wanted to show you guys exactly how sport mode works on the street. So if it was a more, I would say, warmer day, all right, and the ground was a lot more sticky, the tires would stick more, but maybe today is a better day to do this. All right, so if you are in a part of the United States where it's pretty cold out, it gets cold out, you can know that sport mode is extremely dangerous. All right, and especially when it's cold out and you don't have much traction. All right, this car, you'll lose control in the heartbeat in this car. So traction control is extremely off when you're in sport mode. All right, it's not like it's fully off, but you have less protection, all right, less traction on when you're in sport mode. All right, and once we park, I'll go into the settings so I can show you guys exactly how they explain sport mode and how they explain track mode. All right, they give you some breakdowns on how they work and what they do, as far as their attributes. So like I said, we're gonna go get gas. Seems like we're getting gas in every single video, but this is that Hellcat life. So on my way first to get some gas, and then we'll get into this video. All right, as we're pulling up to the gas station in sport mode, look at these gas prices. They have not changed, or actually they have changed. They went up, they've increased. So let's just check them out. $4.77 for premium, and $4.77 also for premium. I think it was $4.85 some days ago, so it may have went down a little bit. All right, as we're pumping gas right now, I'm going to show you guys exactly how much it costs to fill her up. All right, $64.66 to fill this car up. It was not exactly on empty, but it was close. All right, so full tank of gas, and we're going to be in sport mode. Let me just show you guys right now. Let me just hit it real fast so you can kind of see exactly what sport mode will do during certain times. So right there, a little drift. You can't tell right now on camera, but if you're in the car, you can feel it. So like I said, not the greatest day to be doing this as far as traction, but you do get a feel of what sport mode is on a very cold day. So you got to be extremely careful. Sport mode is definitely, and right there, tire spin. All right, so I just pulled over so I can show you guys before I jump on the highway what the attributes of sport mode are. So when you go right here to your sport mode setup, all right, and when you go into it, it will tell you exactly how sport mode is set up. This is just default. I have it where it's just, I left it how it is. Power 717, transmissions in sport, paddle shifters are on, tractions in sport, suspensions in sport. When you go into transmission and it tells you right here, track mode is the fastest possible shift speed, strongest comfort trade-off. All right, so in other words, it's the strongest trade-off from being comfortable. All right, you are not going to be in that much comfort when you're driving in track mode. All right, in sport mode, which is what we're in right now, sport mode is faster shift speeds, but it is not the fastest shift speeds. It just says faster shift speeds, some comfort trade-off. So in other words, you trade off a little bit of the comfort when you're in sport. All right, it's not as harsh as track. And of course, when you're in street, which we're not doing a video about, it is the most comfortable. And of course, when you put this car in eco mode, it gets a lot more comfortable. So that's the breakdown. So as you can see, track mode, the fastest possible shifting, and then sport mode is faster, but not as fast as a track mode. So you're getting a lot faster shifting when you're in track mode, period. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump on the highway and get in track mode. Way too much traffic out here on the streets. I don't know if school got let out early today, but this really aggravates me when I'm trying to do a video and something like this happens. I do videos when I know I'm supposed to be doing them at certain times, and it looks like I don't know if they released school early today, I'm not sure. So right now, we're gonna jump on the highway in track mode so I can go ahead and get this video kind of over with. All right, so as we're about to jump on the actual highway in track mode, all right, I want to show you guys a little bit of the attributes of how track mode is. Like I said, easier to do that on the highway where you can kind of open her up a little bit. So as we're getting on right now to the left, of course, once again, way more traffic than I anticipated on a day like this. All right, but definitely, the best place to do this is on the highway with track mode. We're just going to see if there's any openings. There may not be any openings, but just to kind of give you guys exactly what track mode feels like right now. The suspension is extremely firm. Everything stiffens up. The accelerator is a little bit more, a lot more sensitive. So you can barely tap this accelerator. It just goes somewhere. So barely tapped it right there, and as you saw, she jumped up. So track mode is not a mode to play around with if you know you're gonna be in I would say like tight quarters, like real stop and go traffic. If you're not used to this car, if you're like in a tight situation trying to park or parallel park, I would take this car to track mode, because you barely tap the accelerator, you're gonna end up hitting something. All right, so that's just how it is. So you got to be extremely careful. And look at our friends right here on the highway. So never seen him right there, but he was there today. So I don't know what's going on today with all this traffic, but definitely a lot of traffic, and it's gonna be hard for me to do this video today. But in track mode on the highway, just so you guys can kind of see and get a feel what track mode is about. It's extremely aggressive, extremely aggressive. The best way I can chalk it up is the most violent mode of all. All right, track mode. So probably not going to be able to do anything I want to do as far as really showing you guys, but this will have to do. The main thing is just when you're in track mode, you have to baby the throttle. You have to very lightly apply throttle application. All right, very lightly. Right there, 70. Of course, the wheels want to break loose in 76. So at the ramp, so exit ramp, and like I said, you really gotta baby this car. It's no joke. It'll lose control on you at 80 miles per hour. Depending on the tires you're on, the temperature, all of that goes into play when you're in track mode. It is no joke. So you got to be careful. All right, so we'll put her back in eco mode right now since I just got off the highway. And I just want to talk to you guys about the experiences. You got to be extremely careful. You cannot just, think you can just jump on this car any kind of way. It's not going to be a great turnout. So you have to know exactly what the situation is and the terrain, and all these things play into factor when you're driving in track mode. Now, if you're in sport mode, I would say even more so, because that traction control, yes, it does not shift as aggressive. It is not shifting as fast, but the car has less traction on. So, you know, it's a lot more dangerous for you. It's a lot more easy for you to lose control when you're in sport. So, you know, people like to think track mode is the most dangerous, but I would say street mode could be the most dangerous because you have the least traction out of the three when you're in sport mode. All right, so just made the run that I had to run. I'm gonna jump back on the highway and see if I can get this car in track mode and see if I can show you guys exactly what I'm gonna show you, see if it's better on the way going back. But right now, like I said, when I'm just cruising around, especially with these high-ass gas prices, I'm in eco mode until I wanna have some fun. All right, so jumping on the highway right now. Let me go ahead and put her in track mode. So as we're going up the ramp, eco mode's off, and then track mode. A quick jump right here. So as you can see, a safe way to go on the highway, like I've said it before numerous times. You know, these cars jump up and they get up to speeds in a heartbeat. So track mode, like I said, is key for when you're on the track, of course. It's very fun when you're on the highway, and it gives you a little bit more protection when it comes to traction. So it's not as loose, or it's not as risky when you're in track mode. Yes, you can still lose control, but it's not as bad. The car is definitely more nailed down. Like I've said before, it has a more, you know, lockdown feel. It feels like it's lower. It feels like it's kind of like glued to the road for the most part. You do have some tire spin, some wheel spin, some wheel hop. That's just because this car has so much power. All right, so we are going to get back on the highway. Have to get off and wrap around. And on this last test that I'll have to show you guys track mode before I'll be getting off again, and then I'll try to get in street mode real quick and show you guys. You feel just about every little bump in the road when you're actually when you're in track mode. So, you know, you got to know that that comes with the territory. Let you guys just hear the exhaust. Actually, let me just pop these windows down a little bit so you can kind of hear. But you know what? I'll do vent also. And people sometimes just know to get out of your way, whether it's just coincidence or not. So in sport mode on the street now, probably won't be able to do much, but so with a little baby launch like that, you can still feel the back end kind of just like, you know, drift a little bit. It's amazing. that's going to be the actual closure of today's test. You know, I couldn't really do what I wanted to do, but just know sport mode is extremely aggressive. I don't think it's not. It does have less traction, so you got to be very careful. You can lose control a lot easier. And when you're in track mode, of course, the car is going to shift a lot harder. You'll have a little bit more traction, but you can't, you know, really get the car to drift as much. But both very fun modes. I'd probably have to say track mode is my favorite, but I do kind of like street mode when I'm on the street a little bit better. So when I'm on the street, I prefer sport mode. And then when I'm on the highway, of course, I prefer track mode. And if you guys can, just keep voting on that community tab, on that actual poll that I actually did. So make sure you're subscribed and make sure you have that bell turned on so you'll know when I post another video.